back to Mike's Diabetes World. I had it up, there it disappeared, but okay, we're ready to use. Current blood sugar is respectable 8.1. I have 4.475 units left after lunch. I had pretty much a busy morning of corrections going through with my basal. I've had breakfast, and now I've had lunch insulin, and I went down to 4.7 before breakfast, but have come back up. So, all in all, pretty damn good. Time in range today is looking good. Current blood sugar is, current blood sugar. We're sitting at 90% time in range. 10% today, 10% of the time we were above the threshold of over 10. 90 in range, 0 below 3.9. Average sugar is 7.6%. So, all in all, pretty damn good. So, I don't know what that is. Oh well. Today, it's story time. I think this is our 8th story time. Da, da, da. So sit back, grab a coffee. Today we're going to discuss when things started to go wrong with me, when I started to show signs of me being brittle. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Labile diabetes, or what a lot of people know as brittle diabetes, started for me when I was probably around 15, 16. But I didn't clue in. I was flying without doctors. My GP didn't pick up on it. I was giving false information to my GP about how my blood sugars were doing. They had the hemoglobin A1C, but it was still not widely known. Nowadays, you get diagnosed with diabetes, you get a hemoglobin A1C test right away. Now, it's kind of even growing out of favor. It's still popular with people who are just diagnosed to prove they are diabetic. But on the whole, if you're on an insulin pump like I am, time in range, which we just discussed here earlier, is pretty much the norm. Now, I went from 15 to about 23, where I did not follow suit. I ate whatever I wanted. I took some insulin in the morning, By afternoon, by the time I got home from work, I was just totally exhausted. But, you know, it's just really important that I just made it through the day. Who cared? My blood sugar by the end of the day was high, but dinner I took some more insulin, so it came down. During the night, I remember being up peeing, and when I finally had my last hospital visit while I was um, working, I said, you know what? This time I'm going to do it. I've said that enough, and I tried to control my blood sugars. I started just by doing a simple blood test 4 times a day. That's all I was going to do. And then diet got in there. I went to start to see an endocrinologist because the last visit I got hooked up with an endocrinologist, and that was Dr. Wallace, and she was right on the nose. She got me going, and we tried things, and I'd ended up back in emergency. Um, I spent many months in emergency. There was, I think, 2014, where January I had gotten the flu, or the end of December or January I got the flu, and I really was sick. I couldn't really keep anything down. I somehow made it to a grocery store and bought some ginger ale and was sucking on that. I just pretty much watched TV all day and fall asleep. And my diabetic nurse said, not says, but said that you really should go to emergency. And this was a story I had already told. And I went there, and I ended up staying there for a year, trying to control my blood sugar. I am severe labile. We've tried many different things. It'll work for a while, and then my body will say, you know what? That really isn't working anymore. So we're going to change things up. All right. And I'd end up back some nights or some weeks. I ended up in the hospital 3 times in a row, and would end up being admitted. My blood sugar was off the charts. I had to fight to get the sensor, which we discussed already, that's now able to give me blood sugars. At a glance, I could see what my blood sugar is. But I still have problems. And while I'm in the hospital, I had severe low blood sugars. I was in a hospital in kind of an emergency room overflow. And I was there. I'd get up in the morning, I'd go out into the hall, I'd roam around on my wheelchair, I'd come back. And they had enough. They said, we're going to put you in high acuity. And I went up to high acuity. I was put in a fishbowl, and the glass was right along that they could come and take a look. You weren't allowed to close the glass at all. And they were there to make sure that I wasn't injecting extra insulin. I had to prove once again that I wasn't fiddling around with my blood sugar. And you know what? Within the first week I was there, I still had lows. I was taking shots and I hadn't got my pump active at the time. They were giving me shots. My blood sugar wouldn't behave. I was in there for 2 months trying to control my blood sugar. They finally moved me back to a ward. But even today, I still have to prove, oh, we think you're doing this. And so you have to prove this again. And it's like, why do we always have to prove? It's like we've gone through it, and I've had bad blood sugars, but it's something I've had to live with. But no, here again, and we talked about it, where I've had doctors say, well, you've got to stop taking extra insulin. Well, if it was that simple, I would have done it a long time ago. And now they're thinking, I'm sabotaging. I'm not sabotaging. It takes too much damn energy to be sabotaging blood sugars. It takes a hell of a lot just to get yourself in a normal routine. Why would I go that much further to screw things up? But again, we have to prove. And if you don't do things right, we're going to take away the pump. And I just said, you're fired. You can't fire me. Well, I'm sorry, guy. I fired you. You don't talk for me anymore. And today at 3, oh, that's today at 3, it's 1:11 now, but at 3, I have an appointment with a diabetic nurse, and I'm sure we will discuss this. But I can't give up my pump. The pump's the only thing that got me somewhat under control. So that's my story about trying to watch and control, and why do we constantly, that's a question for have to prove ourselves. Well, we're going to do this, and you have to prove that you're not screwing around. I've had enough. I'm not screwing around with insulin. So, pucker off. Ooh, that was a little forceful and negative, wasn't it? But that's pretty much what I'm needing. So with that, that's story time 8. It's kind of all over the place. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now. My email address is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. All one line. Drop me